Hello, welcome back to the channel. Sammy here, and today I have another speed build for you. This one is my sister Stella's old house. She no longer lives in this house, but I personally think this house is one of her nicer houses. I mean, don't get me wrong, the one she has now is nice too, I guess, but I think this one was better. And she lived in this house longer anyway, so let's get on with it then. So I did most of this one when I was at Christy's Discord birthday party. So you'll see like maybe a few times in here. I tried to edit most of it out, but I did pause quite a bit. And I ended up doing things kind of wrong, so I had to restart. Like here, I put the gate too close to the edge of the wall, and you'll see me completely redo that in a little bit. You'll actually see me do that with a lot of things where I did something once and then I screwed it up and I realized I screwed it up and then I had to do it all over again. And I tried my best to edit out the parts where I screwed up. So if you're just trying to copy me in the video to make your own version of this, you can do that. That's how I got started because I had a really hard time when I first started actually downloading the builds. I didn't know how to do it until I found the lot installer, which I think is really cool. I'm not sure if that was like a third-party program or not, but I think at this point it's just so much easier to install the lots with the lot installer than with any way that that EA intended for you to install lots, because I was never able to do it the other way. So now I'm going with the basement, and I did have a couple issues with the basement. The main issue that I had with the basement is that whatever reason it decided to flood itself. I think this happens when you build below sea level. I've tried placing it on different areas. I've tried using that cheats with the neighborhood height elevation or whatever and playing around with that. Couldn't get it to work. So you're probably gonna have the basement flooded unless you know how to fix that. But on my game, I went in and I completely rebuilt the basement after I put it down where I wanted it to go in the final version, and it's perfectly fine. So now I'm just going in with the porch. I think I did this wrong here. Yeah, I did it wrong. You see me fixing it there? And now I'm going with the gates. I also end up changing the garage because she had a garage built onto this house by her bedroom. So I did it the first way and then I went in and did it the way with the updated garage on. And the main reason I started doing it the first way is because I didn't think it would be possible for me to make the garage facing back, because the garage door faces back and not front. Because you actually can't rotate the garage doors unless you use a mod or make like decorative garages. So I think this is one of the places that I may have been at a party game and doing karaoke. Yeah, I did edit I did try to edit it at least a little bit. So now I'm doing those beautiful like beachy windows. She lives in the middle of like the woods, but she has like a beach style house, and I think it's really pretty, like a woodsy beach house. I'm just putting something way over there. So here, I think this is where I was doing karaoke, but I'm also trying to consider because I'm not sure how I want to do the garage. So now we're doing the bathroom. She's got really big bathrooms in her house. I'm kind of jealous. And then the back porch, I screwed up the porch pretty bad. Her room, I'm pretty sure I made the whole house bigger to accommodate the bedroom. And then I'm going with the porch. I had a really hard time like trying to figure out exactly how big to make it, because I don't remember exactly where the hallway went. I looked at old photos I had, but it was still kind of hard to tell in the photos. And then with the windows, I really hate when the windows are like right up against the corner. But it's not like in The Sims 4 where you can split the difference of the window. You have to kind of just put the windows where they fall, and the same with the doors. Now I'm just doing the kitchen. I had a hard time trying to figure out how big to make the kitchen too, because I needed to make a deck on the side too. And I'm just going in and adding the features. I wasn't really sure if I could talk about this build for 44 more minutes apparently, because it's a pretty lengthy build and there's not much I have to say. But I thought I'd do the same thing I did last time and just put the music on when I'm not talking. So I think in just a minute I'm going to do that, but I want to quickly explain something that I do on the second floor if I get to it fast enough. I didn't make the second floor of this house big enough, so I had to go in and then make it bigger. So if you're trying to copy it, just note that in the beginning part, I ended up basically completely redoing everything because I made it too small. The rooms weren't the right proportions. But I really like this house, and there's a lot of memories here. And subsequently, her house that she had after this was very similar to this house, except for the regard that it had kind of like that underground garage with the deck on top of it, like Olive's house has, and you walk in the living room, and then there's like a staircase going up, and then the kitchen is back. So it's, and then that's it on that floor. I don't even know if there's a bathroom on the first floor. I know there's no basement. And then going up is the bedrooms, and the second floor is basically the same almost. So I think I'm not gonna bother making her second house and like the shorts and the cinematics and stuff I make, because I feel that this house is so similar to the one she moved to. It was basically she only moved to get to a different location because she wanted to be closer to her husband's work or something. At the time she had like 3 husbands too. This was husband number one in this house. I'm very glad that she divorced him because it was kind of sad. Before she married him, this guy was like a rich, like high society socialite, and he had like lots of money, or I should say his parents had lots of money, and like he was like completely out of her league almost. And then his parents were like, "Oh, absolutely not! You will not marry this girl. Look at her walking around like a hoochie mama. She looks like a prostitute. What is wrong with you?" And so they ended up putting an ultimatum on him saying, if you marry this girl and don't get a prenup, that they will disown him, cut him off from the family. And there was no prenup, and he lost all his, which I think was really dumb. Like, Stella, I know you were after that guy's money, probably, but like, you ended up not getting any money anyway because they cut him off. So, haha, I guess. It's almost like she just did it to spite him, I guess. But anyway, then he married her, got cut off from his family, and then he became like a really bad alcoholic, and the drugs and alcohol just completely destroyed this guy. And it got to the point where he was abusive to her, and he blamed her for a lot of the mistakes that I think were frankly his fault. Like, you know what? It's not even my place to say, but yeah, he fell from grace really hard, and they sold this house because one, they had like a really ugly divorce, and the house got sold off, and they split the money, and they went their separate ways. And then which I was shocked. Like, I know that it still had a lot of infidelity, but I thought for sure, like, him being an alcoholic and, like, a woman beater would play a larger factor in the court battle. Because usually they want to give the woman everything unless the woman's, like, has problems. And even then, still, like, it's like a crapshoot whether or not. Never mind. So here I actually go working on that garage, and you're gonna see that two things. One, the garage, I had to use the move objects on to place the door, so I had to place 2 pads right there, and then the one pad's cutting through the house. I think I ended up moving that forward, and I'm not sure if it works or not. I never play tested this. If it doesn't work, there's a couple things you could try. You could try either the garage door doesn't work, just remove the garage door and make it like a shed. You could just remove the whole garage, because it didn't have the garage the whole time. And I put that little fence thing there like that because she has like a little garden out that way, with like a rose garden and stuff. Or she had, I should say. And I think it was time for another partying here. I'll just probably cut this part out in editing again. I wish I could pause my recordings. When I use I like Bandicam a lot because I can pause my recordings. I know that logo's on there, but I figured out a way to remove it. And I know they're low resolution too, but I think being able to pause my videos is really important. This one I can't really do that. I have to record multiple videos and edit them together, which takes forever and lowers the quality even more so. But now here I am trying to figure out how to make this garage work. I used the cheat to drag it to the edge, and then I used the other cheat to like lower that part down, and then I go in and fix the window, and then I may have gone in and done, yeah. So I flattened that whole first part, and then added the second part like that, and then I just moved the car in the driveway in there. So even if the cars can't autonomously park on the spot in the garage, it's big enough that you can just use your open the inventory and put the car in like that, and then they can just park on the pad in the drive. I've never liked in this game that the driveways are so massive comparatively to the size of the car. It gets better in The Sims 3 when the car pads are a lot smaller, but even then, some of them are way too big to really, like, you could, like, I basically had to make this a 2-car garage to fit 1 car. Because you could fit, like, a car and, like, 2 motorcycles in there. And you can't in this one because it's just way too, the driveways are so big. And I had a hard time here too because I wanted to have that, like, it looks fine there, but I actually, if you see, I had to put that little wall piece in because it wouldn't let me take the roofing all the way up to the windows. So here I go doing the roof. I may have gotten the roof part a bit wrong, but I don't think it's that noticeable. And I also hate that you can't put windows like right up against a roofing piece. Like there I did, but most of the time if you don't have a mod, the windows will not clip away the wall. Like it'll be a window on a wall, but it'll be like the outline and the glass won't show up. Now here I used 2 different color greens for the first part because I wanted the trim on the first part, but I didn't want the trim on the second part, so I used a slightly different shade of green. If it really bothers you, you can use the Homecrafter Plus, copy the first one, and then just remove the trim, but I didn't see a need to do that. Plus, you'd have to download the texture pack, or the texture separately, which I don't really like doing myself, so I wouldn't expect you to do the same thing. So here I go adding in the second floor, and I had a really hard time with this, trying to figure out where the stairs would go while making the other rooms big enough. Like, the hallway just got really tiny, and her hallway didn't seem like it was that narrow. So there's the bathroom, there's the closet, and I think it was supposed to be like a second bedroom, like another bedroom, but she used it for a closet, like a walk-in closet, because she has a lot of clothes. And then there's the office and the bedroom with the closet next to it, and the bathroom, and then the nursery for her kids. And then the windows, I had to extend a bit. It might have actually gone over slightly. I can't remember. I think on the porch under there, it had little columns, and then the house sat on the columns because it was extending a tiny bit. And I had a hard time figuring out where the placement of the window should go. Here it goes being kind of glitchy with the graphics again. Like, see the door there? That's what happens if you place the windows of the mod next to a roofing piece. Adding in the windows there. And then here I go. Yeah, I ended up making the second floor and that office in the bedroom poke out a little bit more than it needed to be, but that's only because our stairs were a lot steeper and they were taking up less space, and that meant I could put the stairs in more a bit. So now I'm doing the kitchen. Oh no, I'm not doing the kitchen. Now I'm putting in the wallpaper in all the rooms. Saving, because you always have to save often, because if you don't, your game could crash. I went ahead and added in the stairs to the basement right there. And I'm redoing the kitchen, apparently, because I lost something when the game crashed or whatnot. Or I didn't get enough time to amply save. Something happened. It doesn't matter what. I have to fix the kitchen. I might have had to just delete the kitchen and redo it because I made something too big, which wouldn't surprise me. Because I can see I already made the second floor bedroom and office way too big. So now I'm just going in with the appliances again, and I have these ones from, I think, the IKEA stuff pack or H&M stuff, and I really like them, so I switched them out. Because she has all like black appliances, or she had. And I did playtest a little bit of this part, so they can get into those chairs and they can walk around the table, and it's not too cramped for them to maneuver in that kitchen. And again, I wanted to put the sink on the island, but some students couldn't really support that, so I put it behind it. And I hated that I had to use two sinks instead of one sink, because there's not any really kitchen-y sinks. Like, there's none of the sinks that have like the split in the middle, is what I'm saying. Just going with some decorations, plates, cabinetry. And I think that's all I really had to say. Oh, I know I went in on the little part where I go in and check for mistakes at the end. I sped that up and it might give you whiplash. I'm going to try and edit out on the YouTube editor, just because I like that I can just pick apart and edit out a lot easier than I can, and it doesn't have to process it a second time, is what I'm saying. We spent a lot of time in this living room, and I don't know if I kept the crib in there. She keeps a crib, or she next to the living room couch, because she would oftentimes just use the playpen, just use the crib as a playpen until I think husband number 3, they got a baby shower. They had a baby shower and they had the playpen gifted to them by someone. The crib usually moved around, so I was just trying to figure out where to put it. And then I go to the bathroom, tested this part, I know this works. But yeah, I think I said everything I need to say, really. Everything works fine from here. I've explained the ending. Yeah, so I may or may not include Stella the Sim for download. I used a lot of CC on her. Like, I think every single thing about her I used CC for. And I don't really talk about Stella much on my channel, so I may just talk about Stella for a little bit. She is a very risque woman who enjoys the company of men, very much so, and you might see a little Easter egg in the pictures at the end. If you're diligent enough, I've only put in there for like a split second. I made the vanity by putting the light right over that mirror. I love that. She's, what can I say about Stella? She's really mean to me. I don't really know her all that well anymore. She likes drinking a lot, and she likes her hot tub, and she frequently walks around in her lingerie and bikinis. Like, she'll open the door and be completely topless with, like, her hair just covering up, her pasties on, her bra. And she doesn't like cooking. She's kind of lazy. She doesn't like cleaning. That deck on the side of the living room, I remember one time we actually had to clean that for a big party, and we had Thanksgiving at our house, and it was just filled with crap, like car seats, strollers, a buffet table, lawn chairs, patio furniture, an inflatable pool that was deflated and just kind of tossed over there, dead plants. Like, her deck was an absolute train wreck. But we cleaned it and made it pretty. I wanted to incorporate the rose garden because I couldn't put a rose garden back where her actual rose garden went, so I swapped the stuff that usually goes there for the rose garden. And I didn't put the fronts on the rose bushes, like the ties there, because you can't trim the bushes if there's something blocking them from all sides. And those itty bitty little tiny room dividers do count. So there's the laundry room. I did not include, at least I don't think I included, the washer and dryer or the laundry ironing board, but I may have included them in the build, but I took them out before I put it up on Mediafire. Let me know if you guys want me to start posting on MTS again, or maybe the Sims resource. I probably won't ever start posting on the Sims resource again, because I don't like how it forces you to have the ads on. You can't use an ad blocker. Like, I pay for an ad blocker for a reason. Give me my freaking downloads. And then it makes you wait all that time too. I mean, I guess they're trying to, like, keep the site, like, free by using the income from ad sponsors and stuff, but I personally just like how Mod The Sims is fast. You can just grab it and go. But I don't like how Mod The Sims makes you wait for an approval, and I tried twice now to upload custom content to, like, clothes and things I've made and houses to MTS, and every single time they say it was rejected because there's no content. Like, no, there's content. That's a whole house that I made. That's a whole dress that I made. There's something there. I've seen a lot less on there. Like recolors of somebody else's hair, and you want to say my house can't go up there? No. And I honestly I've been thinking really about starting like a blog kind of type thing, or what are those things called? Reddit or something, where you could download my houses and stuff there, my Sims there. because I like that I don't like how on MediaFire I can't show pictures. These videos really are the only way you know about my builds, which sometimes I don't necessarily care, but if I do like a really cool build that I think a lot of people are going to enjoy, and then no one sees it, I get a little bit like saddened, like that no one else can experience the joy of that. Like I have a few builds coming up for Wizard 101. Like I'm doing all the Wizard 101 houses as houses in The Sims. At least most of them. Some of them would be kind of impossible to do because they're physically impossible. That's actually interesting because on the Royal Playhouse, the second house that you could buy, or it's the luxury home in the Wizard City housing shop, that one's physically impossible. Not only are there windows inside that aren't outside and windows outside that aren't inside, but the house inside is bigger than it is on the outside. So I'm not really quite sure what to do about that. Should I make it accurate inside or should I make it accurate outside? Everyone I asked said that I should make it accurate on the outside, in which case I've already done that, but I don't like it. I think the stairs and the one part are really wonky, so I wanted, and the rooms are really tiny. But I had an idea for a build challenge of only using 50, 100, and then 250 items for decorating a house, because doing a big house is really hard when you have such a few amount of items. Like in the Wizard 101, you only have 250 inside, 250 outside, and that's in the luxury homes and the bundle homes. A lot of the houses you buy from like the vendors and the shops, those are only 150 or 100 or 120 in some cases. So I think it's a challenge to kind of decorate the house, and then with mirrors everywhere because she loves looking at herself and primping and doing her hair and makeup. And she also likes singing a lot too. Stella does. But you wouldn't really know that by her house because it doesn't really have anything that shows how she likes to sing. Makeup box or jewelry box. Towel rack, I like those a lot. I don't know what pack that came with, but I use them all the time. And saving again because you gotta save. I am impressed that I was actually able to talk for 27 minutes. I am impressed by that. About a build that I didn't really have all that much to say about. And my sister, I don't particularly care that much about. When I get to like Christy's house and then Kiana's house and stuff like that, if I even do them because they're kind of ugly houses, when I get to those, I may have like them talking on the build with me. We might do like a topic video over the build, and I won't talk about the build really at all. They have simple houses. There's not really much to say about their houses like there is with this one. And Kiana and I think possibly Christy, they move around a lot. Kind of like Stella, but like I said, I'm not doing Stella's newer houses. I might do the trailer. She doesn't live in the trailer anymore. Like I said, she really moves around. Like she's kind of like a hermit crab, where she just has a house. The house serves a purpose, and then she moves. She doesn't really get attached to a home like I do. I had a fair share of houses too, though. Not as many as her, though. I wanted to do that so bad. I wanted to put the pet bed under the table, and I saw something like that on the Sims resource as like a custom pet bed table, but I ended up just doing that because I didn't like that a pet couldn't actually go under there. But yeah, I think that's all I really had to say. So I'm just gonna put the music on, and I shall see you through the screen. Ta-da!